folks. Tony Howard here with Astrology University, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about the summit that we have coming up this weekend, July 21st and 22nd, called Fresh Voices in Astrology. And to tell you a little bit about that, I brought on one of our speakers, Colin Bedell. I'm really happy to have you here, Colin.
Hi.
Awesome. So if you could just tell people a little bit about your astrological background and where you're from, we can get started that way.
Sure. So my astrological background, it kind of all started when I came home in 1 week with like a 900th career change. And my mother was like, oh my God, what am I going to do with my Gemini son? And I was like, Gemini, what's this? And I was like maybe 10 or 11 years old. And then I like snuck to a computer and I was like, Gemini, and poof, astrology kind of found me. And I have been studying it passionately and reading it with a voracious appetite ever since, and actually working professionally in the field for 1 year now. So that's my kind of trajectory. Yeah.
Awesome. Congratulations and welcome to the fold.
Yes, I know. Oh my God, welcome. It's I feel like I've like never not been here. So thank you.
And can you tell folks where you're from?
I'm from North Dakota. No.
Oh.
I'm from New York. I'm from Long Island, New York, and I live in Queens, New York right now.
Awesome. Awesome. We got a couple of folks joining us from Queens, so that's pretty cool. New York represent.
That's right. Baby. That's right. For all those people who think it's not a spiritual city.
Right?
Don't get me started.
Well, on that note, why don't you tell folks a little bit about what you're going to be sharing with us? Your lectures or presentation, I should say, is called A Course in Astrological Miracles. So what's that all about?
Yes, indeed. So as you know, Tony, so many people come to astrology kind of with questions around identity, right? Like, who am I? What's the self-awareness? What's the vocabulary that I can develop to understand my personal insight? And then, of course, relationships is huge. So why do I have difficulty forgiving this person? Why does this one piss me off? Why am I married to this guy? Hello, like, what's going on here? And then I think soul purpose is a big one, too. I think a lot of people come to astrologers to understand what is that kind of divine psychological imperative that each and every one of us are feeling obligated to express on Earth right now? So astrologers can decipher with the natal chart using very accurate themes, ideas, and concepts and locations the answers to those very difficult but compelling life questions. And because I am just a big fan of the multidisciplinary inquiry to these methods and to understanding it, I am going to connect those questions and those answers to the principles set forth in A Course in Miracles, which is why the webinar is called A Course in Astrological Miracles. So if you've never heard about the course, very quickly, it's just a book that was scribed in the late 1960s, in 1968 exactly, by a woman named Helen Schuman, right here in New York City, actually in Columbia University. And this was only 3 years after the Civil Rights Act. We're in the throes of the Vietnam War. And in that same year, that was both the assassination of Reverend Martin Luther King and Senator Robert Kennedy. So the American collective was obviously very traumatized by the events. So Helen Schuman said out loud, oh, there has to be another way. There has to be another way for people to connect and get along. And she heard a voice say, this is A Course in Miracles, please take notes. She was like, what? And then once again, it said, please take out a pen and paper, Helen, this is A Course in Miracles. And then she scribed over the course of 10 years, this monstrosity of a thing right here, okay, right? And at its completion, what it has become is a self-study program of universal spiritual themes with techniques for the student to kind of dismantle the thought system of fear that dominates the world right now. So that would kind of take the form of separation, attack, defense, violence, justification of anger, and just the illusion of the fact that we are not as separate as we believe. So we dismantle those thought systems to then reintroduce a thought system based on love, which is much more at grace and at harmony and with understanding of the souls that we have. So that has everything to do with spirit identification, that has everything to do with compassion, forgiveness, tenderness, and mercy. And I think that's definitely the kind of space where we can begin to find the answers that we need. So because people come to astrology for personality and relationships and soul purpose, what my webinar is going to do is take the questions and answer them with a kind of twofold approach with astrology and the principles of A Course in Miracles, because why not operationalize these answers with twice as much insight? Why not see if there's ways in which we can find correspondences together to see if you can even strengthen your ability to find those answers. So I hope that you'll join me this Saturday to learn more.
Awesome. I'm going to be there. Well, we know that, but I would tune in even if I wasn't running the show. So I'm really excited. Yeah. So thanks for putting this together for folks, Colin, and folks, you don't want to miss this one. It's going to be a really great one. And clearly, I put this together, the Fresh Voices Summit, because I want to give a platform to all these some new speakers like Colin and some diverse voices. So you're going to get a little bit of everything at the summit, and this is a great example of that. So I hope you can tune in. It's free to register. You can register at freshvoicesinastrology.com. The summit's actually free to watch for the whole weekend. So for 24 hours each day, you can tune in live at no charge. So for a total of 48 hours. So I hope you can stop by and catch Colin. So thanks for taking some time out to talk about your presentation, Colin, and we'll see you soon.
See you soon.